All right, this is the triangle homework number 1. Let's take a look at the first question. So remember, when we're looking at triangles, there's two different formulas you can use. There's the area is 1/2 base times height, and we use this one when there's different fractions labeled on the triangle, like this one has fractions. And the other one we would use is base times height divided by 2. And that we would use with whole numbers and decimals, such as the numbers here and the numbers here. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's do the one that's in the middle. The directions for this say to find the area and the perimeter. So with this one, first thing I want to do is circle the right angle, and then that's going to tell me what dimensions I'm going to use for the base and the height. Since there's whole numbers and decimals, I'm going to use area equals base times height divided by 2. Now the base is the bottom, or what it's sitting on, so I'm going to substitute in 2.4. The height is how tall it is going straight up and down, so I'm going to substitute in 3.2. Then I'm going to divide all of that by 2. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 2.4 times 3.2, and I get 7.68. I need to divide that by 2, and my area will be 3.84 inches squared. All right, then if I go down to the bottom, perimeter is just when we add all the sides. Okay, so we're going to add all the different sides. Oh, we don't want to start with an A. Perimeter. You're going to add all sides. Okay, so if I go back up to this triangle, one of the sides is 3.2. The other side is a 4, and the third side is 2.4. So I'm going to add 4 and add 2.4. Okay, so now if I go down here and I enter those in, I'm going to do 3.2 plus 4 plus 2.4, which will give me 9.6 inches. Okay, so you're going to do that same thing for the other triangles. I think the first one's pretty easy. Here's your base, here's your height. Go right to that right angle. And then over here, if we circle the right angle, here's your base, here's your height. Okay, so these are the dimensions that you're going to use. You don't even need that 16 2/3. But make sure, since they're fractions, you use this formula. All right, pause the video and finish those. And then you're going to flip it to the back. In the first triangle, they're just asking us to find the area here. So I'm going to go to the right angle. I know that this is my height, that 5.2. Now my base is going to be on the bottom, but to get the full base, I have to combine 8 plus 3.9, because this whole thing is the base of the triangle. So when I add those, I get 11.9. And you can stack them over here. 8 is 8.0 plus 3.9, 9. That's how I got that. Okay, so I'm going to use area equals base times height divided by 2. So the base is 11.9 when I combine those. The height is 5.2. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so in my calculator, I'm going to type in 11.9 times 5.2, and I get 61.88 divided by 2 would be 30.94 feet squared. Okay. Take a look over here. When you're doing a triangle like this, you may want to even turn it around Turn your paper upside down. Here's that right angle that we're talking about. So going straight up and down for the height is that 9.5. Now, this right here is going to be the base of this triangle. So that base is 12 3/4. Now these two fractions are really nice fractions. This one could be 0.5 and this one could be 3/4. So I'm going to change those to decimals because those are nice fractions. So I'm going to use that same formula of base times height divided by 2. Now the base we said was 12 3/4 or 3/4, which is 0.75. You can also type it into your calculator. 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. Now the height is 9.5, so I'm going to write 9.5. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so first step is to multiply 12.75 times 9.5, and we get 121.125. Then we're going to divide by 2, which will come out to be 60.5625 feet squared.